everyone, and welcome to Lowrentrick scale modelling. And this is my build of the Airfix gift set, the 172 scale Curtis Tomahawk 2B. This video is sponsored by Galeri. We're going to have a quick look at the Ambition series airbrush and compressor kit. And I've got some discount codes for watchers of the channel for both Amazon and Galeri a bit later on. Please consider subscribing and checking out my Facebook page too. We've just hit about 1,600 members on the Facebook page. Great place to share your work. Now, who doesn't love a shark mouth decal? The kit's in really good condition. I was happy to see that it actually does come with a pilot. So many of the kits today don't. So I'm going to start with a very thin sandy coat of Vallejo Model Air. This is thinned down to 50%, obviously using the Galeri Ambition series airbrush kit. That's why this video is sponsored by them. So I'm going to start with a nice thin coat, using it as a base layer or as a primer. You may notice I don't use primer very often because I find that I really don't need to. It's not that I'm against it, just don't need to use it. Never built a Tomahawk before, so I'm really looking forward to it. The sprues are in great condition, as I've mentioned, so the molded looks really good. But I do make a very big mistake while putting this together, and I think it's important to keep the mistakes in and show you what I did as a mistake and how to rectify it. There's no point editing out mistakes, we all make them. Even at my low level of maybe 100 models in so far, it's as important to find out how to get around the mistakes as well as learn by making them. So I found that the fit was absolutely excellent. It's a great little kit, and once I've got this main body construction done, I'm going to give the second coat of paint just to build up those layers nicely. I'll also be using some panel lining, some of the Tamiya panel line accent colour that I've got just recently through the post. I've never used that before, so obviously I will be putting a nice varnish coat on just before I use that too. Before painting the blue, once it's assembled, I'm going to mask up. I'm using masking tape that I got from Temu. It's absolutely fantastic stuff. Low tack, but stays in position and doesn't pull the paint off. I see a lot of posts on Facebook asking about masking tape, and this is easily as good as any of the expensive ones I've used. Joining the wings and fuselage is always my favourite bit. It's when you first get a sense of how the model is going to look and how it's going to come together. So just dry fitting and offering everything up. The fit is wonderful. There are no excessive gaps. It's not too tight and not loose at all, and there's no flash to hold me back. It's just absolutely wonderful little kit, this one. Did you spot the mistake? I was so busy and so focused on getting the main body together that I didn't put in the cockpit, which goes on the bottom wing assembly. Now, I do make these mistakes occasionally. I'm sure everybody does, but as you can see, it's a rather large piece. It's not going to go in. It's not going to be able to fit around what I've done. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to come up with a quick solution to basically get this piece of cockpit inside where it should go. So here goes. So I'm basically going to take my file and place it through the canopy hatch and basically press down with a bit of even pressure until the bottom wing assembly comes away. Just being careful not to tear or break any of the plastic, and then lift away so I can rectify my stupid mistake and fix the cockpit before I reassemble. After detailing the cockpit and some of the ancillary components, I'm going to move on to the camouflage, which I'm going to do freehand using the Galleria airbrush, which is a great place to drop in a little word from today's sponsor, Galleria. This video is sponsored by Galleria. They sent me over their Serena compressor and airbrush kit from their Ambition series. It comes with a classic CS36 airbrush. So inside the kit, quick reference guide to help you set up, but you're not really going to need that. It's very simple. It's got two airbrush holders because this compressor is powerful enough to run two airbrushes. So it does have a blanking nut on the base there to block off one of the outputs. Very easy to use, up and down. It'll go from 15 psi all the way up to 27, so you can find your manufacturer recommended psi. And as you can see, the nozzle at 0.38mm is perfect for both detail work and fill-in painting. It has been an absolute revelation to use this airbrush, a wonderful piece of kit. There are discount codes for both Galleria's website and for Amazon, linked in the description below. Please do check them out. It is by far the best airbrush and compressor system that I've used. Thank you very much for joining me, and now back to the video. So the camo pattern I'm going to do freehand because I've got that level of control with this airbrush, and it's something that I really want to practice and get better at. The masking way of doing it is really good, but sometimes I really don't want those sharp lines. I want a slight blurred look to the camouflage pattern, which this gives beautifully. And I think I could tighten it up a little bit more, but I like to put the pattern down and then just slowly add to it until I get the look that I'm trying to achieve. And now over the top with a very thin coat of Vallejo satin polyurethane varnish, getting ready for the decals and to protect the paintwork that I've already done while I'm still manhandling it and throwing it around. For the undercarriage, on these size models, as you know, the wheels are really quite flimsy, so I'm going to use a combination of glue. I'm going to use some Contactor Professional to fit them in place, and then I'm going to use some very strong super glue, some cyanoacrylate, to give a real strength to those legs so they don't buckle under the weight. They are really quite flimsy. Painting up the canopy, I've been doing a lot by hand recently. My hands are a bit shaky today, but I've been painting by hand to practice the method, and I also realise that I need some practice in the masking, so I'm going to mask this one up and paint it with the airbrush, then polish it out with a sharp stick on the end. For the panel lines, I got hold of some Tamiya panel line accent colour in dark brown. Wonderful product. It really does do what it says on the tin. And to polish it off, I'm using a very, very dry cotton bud with a little bit of Tamiya extra thin on it because the varnish is strong enough to take that. No problems at all with the decals. They go on wonderfully on top of this satin varnish. And as you can see, I'm using a little bit of watered down varnish actually to seat them. The shark mouths can sometimes be a problem, Getting them to turn, bending decals is always quite difficult, but on this one they worked absolutely fine, and the varnish does tend to tighten the decal down as it dries out and really makes it adhere to that surface. Quick paint up of the pilot. He's not very detailed, he's a little bit of a blob, so I'm just going to colour him in a little bit, and then I'm going to use some of the panel liner to add some creases and some realism, and then pop him in, and here's the finished product. I'm really pleased with the way that this looks, the way it turned out. It was a really fun build. I'm a really big fan of these Airfix starter gift sets. Not so much the paints that come in them, but the kits themselves are really getting quite good. Thank you so much for joining me for yet another video, and thank you to our sponsor Galeri. Please do check out the discount codes in the links in the description below. I'll see you in the next video. I'm just gone over 9,000 subscribers, so please do consider subscribing, and please do check out our Facebook group. We've got about 1,600 members there, and we'd love to see you there to share your work. See you in the next video. Bye bye.